Lepo pozdravljeni na EPICENTER gaming dogodku tukaj v Mariboru na današnji dan, ko se je zbralo več igralcev, tudi cosplayere imamo danes tu, navdušence nad gamingom, popkulturo, anime. Tamle v kotu vidim tudi so še že zaštartali turnirji v igralnih kartah. Dobrodošli danes na dogodku, veliko se bo dogajalo, tudi na tem vsebinskem odru imamo danes veliko vsebine, s katero bomo tudi zdaj hitro začeli. Ob tej priložnosti za začetek bi se še jaz zahvalil našim sponzorjem, ki so ta dogodek nam omogočili. T2, X, zavarovalnica Sava, Red Dragon, Moje, Logitech in tudi drugi, ki so prispevali na takšne in drugačne načine, da so nam omogočili, da se danes lahko tukaj dobimo. Jaz bi na tej točki vam predlagal, da greste malo okrog, pogledate, kaj dogodek kaj ponuja. Imamo veliko razstavljavcev, kasneje v dnevu imamo tudi zelo obiskovano ponavadi cosplay tekmovanje. Bo pa danes tudi veliko vsebine na tem vsebinskem odru tu. Imeli bomo različne panele, različne goste in sicer bomo zdaj kar otvoritev naredili z prvim panelom dneva, ki bo pa sicer potekal zdaj še v angleščini, saj imamo enega gosta, ki je lažje gre, če govorimo v angleščini. Game development is a tool for creative expression and opportunity for career development, utilizing next generation technologies. Pa bi kar na oder povabil naša prva gosta dneva. Na oder prihajata Denis Selčan in Nadav Sagir. Hello, welcome to the event.
Thank you.
So today is about gaming here, and maybe just as an introductional question, what are you playing right now?
Good question. It's been a little bit since I've hardcore gamed. I mostly use my free time to work on the project, but I do enjoy a little bit of Rocket League or maybe a little bit of
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Competition. Okay.
Gotta stay competitive.
Yeah.
With me, we're basically playing a lot of XR games and VR, Red Matter, stuff like that. Not such a heavy PC gamer, but more into making it.
Okay. So Denis Selčan, independent developer for the project, for the game Project N.O.V.A at Hearth Pixel Studios, and Nadav Sagir, director of CtrlArt, a technological creative studio. Maybe you both can explain more about your work as we go into the discussion. So maybe what are your current projects that you're working on currently? So about Project N.O.V.A and maybe some projects at your CtrlArt, which is, by the way, a great name. CtrlArt, great name, studio.
So I'm working on Project N.O.V.A, which is a 2D co-op puzzle adventure. Mm-hmm. It's about two scientists who cooperate and solve puzzles by the guidance of AI who can or cannot be trusted.
Okay. So a puzzle.
Yes.
Puzzle game. Yes. Yes.
So with us, with our studio, we are now working on two games. We published a more arcade game in VR. It's a shooter, space shooter, like more retro. But the idea is that because we're trying to utilize these technologies to make the user move, he has to dodge things physically. So of course, this is for the head. As a studio, we're working on a lot of educational platforms in XR and tours, edutainment, let's call it this way. That's our main core. But we have now 3 games out in the MetaQuest store, and we have some on the mobile department, but mainly we're specializing in the XR technologies. Yeah.
So game development is a very, it's like a pot where you mix different arts together, mix different mediums together. Maybe in what way do you think game development differs as a medium, or games especially as medium, from other types of media? Like maybe the component of interactivity, the merging of different arts.
So I'd say it's definitely the interactability, right? It lets you be the person in control of the story. You're the one controlling your character. You're the one thinking. You're the one making the decisions. So I believe that is what sets it apart from normal media.
You have to do the thing.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I think with us, I actually think game development is one of the most difficult things. We are over 20 years working on projects for clients where it's contained. Once you start going into game development, there's so many factors, testing, bugs, different crowds, and it gets very, very complicated. Actually, even simple games, I think are really, we're doing games for 5 years now, and I think that it's one of the more challenging and a lot of work to put into it. And also the communication with the users, with the players is something to another set of skills to work with. Yeah.
Do you see game development maybe as like a tool of expression, even for you? Maybe a question like this: do you think you're artists?
I think to some extent, for sure. I mean, there's definitely art in there, right? You can't make a game without assets, and that's either 2D or 3D.
Yes.
So there's a lot of drawing or modeling, depends on what your expression is. For my game, for example, I chose pixel art because I'm not the best at drawing, but pixel art provides more of a limited canvas for me, so it's easier to like come out with something that I'm personally satisfied with in the end.
Yeah. Nice.
I think, as you know, our company's name is CtrlArt because I think that it's exactly the mix. I think there's a lot, like he said, there's a lot of the game assets in this, different people, different disciplines. Like I said, it's a lot of different disciplines that come in together. There's a lot of art, except the assets, the thinking of how to do the game, how it's going to be engaging, how it's going to continue with the player to actually be something. So definitely, and that's why I say CtrlArt, because it has to be a bit not floating in the clouds and put it back, and to merge the two is quite an interesting...
Art under control.
Yeah.
In a safe space.
Yeah.
So there's also, today we're going to have panels here discussing also some AI and like art and AI.
Yeah.
Do you implement any of like newer tools, newer technologies? You mentioned VR games already into your game process, and maybe what's your opinion on emerging, maybe even like Genie 3? Have you seen Genie 3? You know, stuff like that. What your opinion is on it, and will you use it in your process as well?
So I personally don't use generative AI for any assets I put in game.
Yes.
But I do use it a lot to kind of either like brainstorm certain things, or also just, it's very nice in terms of like getting to know a new skill. Just prompting it gives you quick knowledge that like traditional methods like Google would take you longer to get you to a result, I'd say.
But you have the topic of AI.
I do have the topic of AI, yes.
So the content, the story of it.
The story,
Yeah, nice, yeah.
I think with AI, we are starting to implement it. Basically, our coders work with AI, Copilot to help them a bit. I see that also AI is, with the asset generation, it's not yet there, but it's for mock-up, or it speeds up a lot of ideas just to get some creative ideas or create mock-ups to plan, to visualize. We started now implementing, testing out 3D asset creation with AI. It actually gives visually this decent result. The topography is terrible. It's like a scan. It's not game ready, but to quickly prototype a game or background assets. For example, now we're working on a kind of a VR game with a house, so a lot of the small props that the user will not really get to be so close. It is, but it's still, everything has to go through Blender or Maya, whatever you're using, but I do see this is going exponentially. Another thing that I would like to mention with the AI that we're using now is, it's not a game, but it's more of a, we have an AI ChatGPT character leading you through some process. Yeah, so we're basically a helper in the virtual environment that is AI. One main issue that you can actually talk to directly as you're doing the experience. The delay is a problem. There's a big kind of back and forth with this. So we're trying to speed up the turning your voice into text and text back into a prompt and then an answer. So this thing takes a couple of seconds, and nobody in VR actually has the patience. You think the program is stuck. But the rate of things moving, I actually think that this will enter quite deeply, and also if you heard now, there's this kind of game worlds that are being generated with AI as you go, and you can change them. So I think it's an exciting thing. We are just touching a little bit on it, yeah.
So maybe like brainstorm is also possible to use it for that. You touched on this creation of worlds.
Well, I'm too excited. I thought AR is going to change things 20 years ago. So yeah, because I think that once you start getting that the world is being generated and stays, and you can start interacting and leaving persistent markers in it, so the world is being adapted by the users. The AI can also learn the users. So I think there's a lot of really exciting ways to apply it. I don't know yet how it's going to be, but I think especially if a game changes according to how the AI interacts with you and things like this, I think it'll run first as a bit of a gimmick, like everything else. But I think definitely the future is pushing quite strong towards this direction.
Any thoughts on Genie? Any thoughts on this new way of making games as well, right? Because you're basically making them with prompts.
So, like you said, right? I don't think it's there yet. I do see the potential of it getting there, but I think we're a couple of years out from just you prompting the AI and you spitting out a fully completed game with no bugs. But I do think it really can get you far in terms of like mock-ups and getting ready, and especially in terms of helping you, the person making the project, achieve the final project.
One person can maybe now do a lot more than before you needed a bigger team for. Okay, so back a bit to the creative process. Do you think that the creative process differs in game development from other traditional ways of how media is made? Is there some special element in it, or is it really standard?
I think it's for sure similar, right? But you're definitely gonna have your specifics. Like from my point of view, where I'm completely independent, there's a lot of learning. I just recently picked up audio design as well, so that's been a big learning curve and still is. But yeah, from the perspective of an indie, it's just a lot of hats at the same time. You're designing, you're programming, you're drawing, you're marketing, you're social mediaing, you're standing on a stage. So it's very dynamic.
Yeah, you have to do a lot.
Yeah,
very broad. Yes.
I think about the creative process. We started as a studio, as a 3D studio for TV commercials and AAA games, devices, the optimization, there's a kind of like the wish of the creative and what has to be in reality. So this balance maybe is different. Also how you prepare the assets is a bit different when you have that in mind to be. So we're actually, let's say with the VR, we're not, especially I think PC gamers, this is one of the things they don't like about VR because the quality is a bit less. I'm hoping it'll improve, of course, with the new versions, but this is a kind of a limit in the creative process that you have to limit things, you have to limit the size of things, how it renders, a lot of technical issues. So it is a bit different than when you have, let's say, if you're working for film and you can render something like crazy, but
you have a lot of versions of the media as well as a developer. There's also in that process, there's this maybe special moment where somebody tries something you've been working on for a long time. Somebody tries it for the first time. Do you have any feelings about that moment where you show something that you've been crafting and putting in, and then somebody gets to experience it for the first time?
It's such valuable feedback because you're working on this thing for months or years, right? And then somebody tries it, and you played the game a bunch. You can do a level in that because you know everything, you've experienced, you've made it. But someone playing it for the first time, you see where they kind of get stuck, you see where it's not necessarily obvious, you see where the assumptions you kind of made don't really go through. So I think it's just really valuable and also precious, right? Someone's playing the thing you made.
And the main issue, because when you're we are working on something, you're totally immersed. I'm repeating a bit what he said, but then people, when they test it, suddenly they get things that you never even thought about, or discover bugs that you never, especially when we're doing interactions, we have it all safe and then a user tries something else or doesn't understand. So it's very useful. It's hard to get. Also, another thing about users, like you said, games can be worked on for years. People today are expecting. They don't. Let's put it this way: not everybody gives the length to try things in a way, because people are used to such nice and high-level things that you suddenly, okay, if it doesn't work straight away. Like I want to say, users are not too forgiving. Yeah, it's a very cut world in a sense, and especially because with gamers, I see there are different levels of gamers. There are different types, different qualities that they see, or sophistication in the game. So all this come to test, but the testing or people feedback is the most important, I think, but it's also the most hard to get. Because people don't usually want to volunteer it. We do some small test groups. We're a small company, so we don't have, we're also indie, we don't have so much budgets to kind of get things tested, but we got some amazing feedback, and suddenly a lot of times the feedback is also from people in the industry that work in gaming, but they look at things different than an end user. So it's one of the most, I think, the feedback and the iterations go a lot more with the better testing. Yeah.
The art is not then something that's only yours. It becomes broader. Everybody contributes a part. In that regard, how big of a role does a gaming community or a game community play in the development? And also later on when it's released with the longevity of the game.
So I think there's different angles to consider here. So the community definitely helps a lot because it's like a space or a group of people who are like actually rooting for you. They want to help you. They're willing to play test. They're willing to give feedback, which is, like we mentioned, invaluable, right? But also having like a community that is going to be there when you release and kind of it keeps you going, and in some cases it keeps it financially viable, right? Because making games is also, it can get expensive. So I think it's pretty valuable to actually put some effort into having and fostering a community.
Do you maybe then have a feeling that at some point you're doing it for them, and maybe not, for who am I doing this? For me, for the money, for them? Or is it just a mix?
Possibly. I'll tell you when I get there.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
I think just to add, because I think you said it nicely about the community, I saw some games not with us, that there's some very wonderful Slovene game developers, that they build a community for 2 or 3 years on Discord, on this. There's a lot of what he said when, as an indie, that you have to do all the marketing, they posted every week a development blog. And basically these things take a lot of effort, it gets people engaged in the game and to follow you and to go through the process, gives them a feedback of being included, which is important. I think it's very hard to get a community in a sense. Like I said, people, the testing, if you either see a finished product with a lot of marketing and you're straight on it, or to have the patience to put it. But I think definitely, this is also the feedback, like I'm rolling back to the older question, the best feedback you get from the community, because sometimes as a developer, you don't see, you're stuck in your own direction or what you think is the challenge, and you don't even see, wait, somebody else is using it another way, actually. So it's very, like I said, game development I think is very difficult because it's such an open and everybody can exhaust everything. So I think any game community can be small, can be even friends, family, things like that, to start giving impact. Somebody that takes the time to look at what the thing you created is a blessing. It's not so easy to get today, yeah.
It's a very multi-layered process, right?
Yes.
Brainstorming, first prototypes, experimenting, then giving the game to somebody to play, at some point marketing, and then launch. And only when you launch, you're like, it's still, fixes and marketing again.
Sometimes you revert everything back.
Sequel, maybe. What do you think are some of this rapidly developing maybe technologies that are emerging, right? VR and AI. Where do you see some challenges that emerge from this in this process of developing the game? Does that make sense? What I mean? Yeah.
I can pick that one first. I think that the main problem with these new technologies that we're working with, especially with the XR devices, that not many people have them.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very small market, very hard to get feedback. And like I said, I think today in this market, unless you're the big companies that have a lot of money for this, most developers are doing it from their soul or something they're passionate on, a certain purpose. Things grow over time, but this technology is for people to try it, because let's say from my experience in the VR, there's a lot of a start, it's exciting, but then put it off. And mainly, who I would say today is using it is mainly developers, or people who are really enthusiastic. It's not a public, but I think it's going to change. And I think we're very excited about also the mixed reality concept with the Apple Vision Pro, things that you can interact with your own world around you. Again, the pricing of the consoles are very expensive, so it's still in the niche of client work or this. But I have a very optimistic, especially when the graphics will go up, these things. But these technologies show a lot of reluctance. I see it as an opportunity, because today, let's say if you're looking at the mobile market, it's totally saturated. I think if you're looking at AAA games, the amount of investment to create such a thing is huge. Or it's a team that's very dedicated. It could be a small team, but they have to be very dedicated for a long time. Yeah. So these hurdles, but I think all technologies are moving fast, and the iterations and the software has to change and keep up with it.
So you would say for VR especially, it's that it's not yet in the mainstream, and it's been for years now, kind of like new headset comes out, and it's like, is this going to be the one?
Yeah. I think it's becoming more in industry. People are using it in even education, or we're doing a lot of projects in museums and cultural heritage.
For immersive experiences.
Exactly. So still it becomes a thing that people have at home and use it as a console. I think it's starting. You have some very hard people who are really into it, where there's I think 10 million devices out there or more. It's still nothing compared to this. But I'm an optimist in this field. That's why I'm putting. Not everybody agrees with it, but
I think it's also the thing that when people try it, people understand, right? But you can't. VR is a thing that even if you see it, you don't like. It's weird. But if you play, for example, Half-Life Alyx, you're like, it's just an amazing experience, right? For example, but people haven't had the chance to try it. Yes.
There was not so much content yet. Now it's starting to put. There's a lot of smaller content, which is less. But I think when you get into the really heavy now, a lot of large game companies are porting their games into VR, PC VR mainly because of the graphics. So that is a positive move. But all new technologies have their benefits and their
of course,
it's a higher risk, let's put it this way. But it also, I think what I see it also enables younger teams, smaller teams, not so this to break out through a new medium with their thing. Because I think today the industry is very difficult, there's a lot of amazing things, very competitive, very high level. Yeah.
Denis, where do you see the challenges of rapidly developing technologies?
Well, the challenges in rapidly, what I see is I don't have such issues like the VR have the same issues with VR headset, but the issues I see are mostly from just doing things alone, right? Like if something. I don't know, if a new technology hits the market, then it would be great for my game, right? It's still a lot of effort for me to suddenly switch. Even if that's like the best way to go forward, it would be a lot of work for me to just suddenly switch to like a new technology. Even like, for example, Project N.O.V.A is written in Godot, and I'm a couple of sub-versions back, because I can't just easily upgrade, right? It would mean porting some of the code base. So just any major changes like that are either very difficult or unfeasible for an indie developer.
So if you had like like advice for like younger advice, right? For younger, for somebody who wants to make his game, would that be like a warning now? Like, be prepared to study a lot, be prepared to sacrifice a lot, or would it be that like encouragement, go out and create your?
I mean, I definitely
game.
say go out, shoot for the stars, but don't start off with like your dream project, right? Because you're gonna get burned out. Start very small.
Okay.
Make a project, put in a square, make it move, and be happy about it.
Yeah. So have
And then
like little.
slowly. You gotta build a skill set around it, because without the skill set, you're gonna burn out. Because obviously you're gonna start off by doing things not optimally, or like not in a way that you're gonna have to go back and change a lot of things, and then you just lose momentum at that point. So my main advice for somebody who wants to get into game development is just to start small and build up the skill set.
Just make a like ping pong shooter. That's
Whatever-
that's
whatever
already.
you want, but just keep it low effort.
Yeah, keep it low. Square, that's it. Square move. Okay, nice, yeah. So you also get the reward back very fast of accomplishing something. Yeah, nice.
And once you're done, right, just show it to people. Get the feedback.
Yeah,
You're gonna need to do it at some point.
yeah. Brag about it.
Brag about it, sure, yeah.
Nice, yeah.
I agree with a lot what he said. I think that I would also add, don't be scared to fail, because you will fail a lot of times. And I see it a lot in the Slovene people that I know that are very, either they go shoot for the stars, like you said, but then the disappointment is too big, because you will get slapped no matter what you do. You will fail 10 times before you succeed. But that's a good thing, because every time you learn something new, and I think like Dennis said, to start small, and people, even when they start small, even if you said ping pong, it gets complicated. It gets always, there's a feedback from music, especially if you're working independent. There's so much to do around even a simple game. And I think first you need to feel it to see, and be always ready for, not everybody's going to like what you do. You're going to get people to say this is crap, and don't, you know, if you, and it is, I think many people that develop, they put a lot of effort, a lot of time. It's their baby, it's a part of them.
Yes.
It's something like this, and then when somebody comes and goes, what is this shit game? You're devastated, yeah? So you need to learn to take things not personally. Some people will like it, some won't. Some things you will do will be crap, it's simple as that. And some things you will do will be amazing, yeah? So it's a process like this, yeah.
So with all the qualities of like the knowledge of how to program and art and audio design now, you also need to have a bit of like tenacity.
Yeah.
You know, the ability to get through that struggle of somebody being like, that game is shit.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, right? Oh, okay, yeah. I think that also then triggers a lot of self-reflection and like, what am I doing? What is this? You know, like you have to also deal with that, which is, of course, something that always happens when you do art and you put it out into the world. Maybe also, as like for younger now people that would like to go into that, what's the career opportunities, or what's the, you know, entry point into, let's say I did my square, right? I did my square, I made a shooter that's like 3 pixels. What do I do now? And I have an idea now, and maybe I need a team, maybe like, how do I, at what point can I say I am a game developer, you know?
That's a good question, how to define it.
Yeah, is there, like, do you think there's like this, or is it just a gradual process of like at some point?
I think it's a gradual process. Like, you can technically call yourself a game developer as soon as you put something out, right?
Roblox. If you make games in Roblox?
I mean, sure, I'd say that you
developer.
could consider yourself a game developer at that point. I mean, people who make tabletop board games, they're technically game developers. It's a different kind of game, but still, a game nonetheless. As far as like career opportunities, the way I see it is there are a couple of people, companies you can get hired at for game development, but there's not a lot in this region. So that's where, like, indies or me come in, where you just still want to go for it. So you take the whole thing on yourself.
Yeah.
I think this is it's a young person have to think you have to do this part. If you're just passionate about coding or art, you might say, no, I want to first get some experience or get a niche role and become an amazing texture artist and get very delivered. So it's very individual, I think. I also think that young people have the energy. They speak the language. I'm not so young anymore, but they understand things. They also have a lot of reference way above my generation in a sense. And I think they can shoot for the stars, but they have to put it together. It's not just like, oh, I love to do 3D, and then I'll do some programming and I'll do some this. You have to really be passionate about it and have an objective and believe in yourself. And I think that regarding opportunities, I think there are. I think it's Slovenia is a smaller market, although there's a lot of development outside, and I know we work also with freelancers that work abroad. So there is, part of the thing when you develop your own game, even if the game wasn't super successful, it could be an amazing reference. And people in the industry understand how much work, how much time, especially if, let's say, an independent does it, they understand totally what this takes. It's easy to criticize something and before you make it. And that could be another thing. Now, you might say, I want to continue push my own way, or you might say, somebody that understands this appreciates it, and then will pull me in to their studio. I think that the field is growing. There was now a bit of a downturn with the game industry, a lot of changes, but this is always a loop. And you'll be surprised, because we're looking all the time, and I think that once you start going inside, you understand there is so much more, because now you're thinking about just games on the consoles or on Steam, but there's companies who make tailor-made games for locations, for museums, for training. A lot of it, like I said, we're working with industry, and there's a gamified experience. So this skill set is coming in a lot of ways, and the more a person enters this world, so I would suggest to young people to start working. You need to work really hard. It's not like, oh, I just want the nice title and to talk to with this. Also good enough, but the people that do it understand what it takes. It sucks your life in a way, in a good way, and you enjoy it. And I think if you're young and you have the energy and the vitality to do it, and usually the brains, and a lot of people really have the things, then I would definitely put a lot of time. And but you need to have this passion, and the doors will open. Don't always think, what will this, if I study now game design or this, where will I, there's in Slovenia, once you start meeting people. It's also important to communicate and be in events like this, to meet people, to understand how it sees. I think this all builds you up to a certain point. At the end, it's a world of people, and through people can help you. You can find I saw some nice developers here that met through game jams and these people and helped them with their game, with assets, started collaborating, feedback. So that rose them up quite nicely.
Yeah, and as you said also before, the ability to fail, to be like, okay, the box didn't move. It's fine. I'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if the box didn't move, maybe the circle will. And then I try with that. And maybe that's even better, right? Because mistakes are also.
That's what you learn from, because I think if you start and you do I wish the best, you do your first game, it becomes a super hit, and you're this, it's great, it's everybody's wish, I'm not against it, but I think then your learning is, again, I'm with the philosophy, you need to struggle, and that struggle shows in your, any creation you make, or anything you produce, it shows that you put it, And it could be a really simple game, I'm not talking about you need to have a whole 3D department to create assets, you have very simple games, but the game has a hook on it or something really new or a novelty, and I think that a lot of people can get its ideas.
That also happy little mistakes can turn into features.
Happy little accidents.
Like this one, happy mistakes. Maybe as we wrap up, you brag. You can brag now. I give you the permission about your projects, where people can find out about them, what's cooking up now, and where they can find you on media, social media, and here on the event today.
So I go on social media, I go under the handle Hearth Pixel Studios. I have a YouTube channel and a Discord server, so if you want to be part of the community, we'll be glad to have you. And if you want to try Project N.O.V.A today, I'm one of the people back
Presented
here.
Yeah, nice.
So come find me.
Okay.
There's lots of black and yellow tape to fit the team.
Okay, nice.
I would like to say we also have a stand here. We are working now on two games that we brought with us here for VR. We have one that wasn't launched yet. It's this tabletop game with snails, some funny races, and we have this arcade shooter. I'm inviting people to try the games out. We are also, if people have Meta Quest, we can give free keys because it's on the Meta store. If they're willing to give feedback, and it doesn't have to be a positive feedback. Actually, we learn more. Of course, don't shred us on the store, but I think it's so. I'm inviting people to our stand, try our games. Apart from that, our studio is CtrlArt. We have social media. Just search for us. We have a lot of years of projects in 3D and things like that. Our gaming and VR is also put on the site, so I'm inviting everybody to check it out.
Come and experience, and then share the experience also with you. Thank you both. I wish you good of luck and a lot of happy little mistakes on your development path forward. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right.